now we have Marshall Taplits, who's the co-founder and chief strategy officer at NYNJA. He'll be talking about open unity and how individuals and societies thrive with blockchain-enabled platforms. Marshall worked in software quality assurance at Converse and for Tradestone Software, and he founded Spaxtel, whose mission is to enable users to make high-quality international calls from any phone in the world with or without internet access. Can you please give Marshall a very warm welcome to the stage?
Good morning, everyone. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Just to introduce myself, my name's Marshall Taplits, and I am one of three co-founders of NYNJA, as well as the chief strategy officer. So I'm in charge, basically, of the product vision. We are building the global blockchain platform for communication and commerce. And I do want to take a second just to thank Mike and the D10E team. We throw the word family around and friend, but actually this is the third D10E event that we're at, and we really do feel that they're very easy to work with and friendly, and they're always willing to help out and go the extra mile. So thank you for hosting this event, and it's exciting to be here in Tokyo as well. So I'd like to take the time this morning just to introduce what we're doing, our vision, and invite you to join us. So we're at the very beginning of an exciting and opportune time in history. Developments in communication, in particular the emergence of distributed ledger technology, which everyone refers to as blockchain, these technologies are enabling new business models, new ways of living, and new ways of governing our entire societies, really. So they're providing the people of the world, basically, with something that wasn't possible until very recently. So we've taken all these advanced technologies and we are working on building a global operating system that's powered by the blockchain. So if you're familiar with when the iPhone came out, it's not just an app, right? It's not even just a platform. It's a whole ecosystem. It's an operating system. And so we kind of think of ourselves as an operating system, but with blockchain. So we look around and we say, okay, what are the fundamental tenets of society? And the three main pillars are communication, commerce, and consensus. And consensus in particular is very interesting because if you look at the current systems of how we govern ourselves, it's all about voting and how many votes you need to get this or that. But I think consensus is a little bit broader than that. It's a more general feeling like, are we all in alignment? Which is a little more vague, but much more powerful. So again, this idea of communication, commerce, and consensus. But these pillars of civilization are actually quite separate in the current world, in the current societies we live in. So if you think about doing a business, for example, I'm from the United States, I can go and create a corporation, an LLC, I can go open up a bank account, I can go get my tax ID, and I can start to interact and make relationships with other companies and do business. But when I do that, I need to write contracts that are on paper. I need to have legal teams. I need to have banks. I need to have all these unrelated parties. And if everything goes well, that's fine. But when things don't go well, you have to enforce these contracts. You have to get the bank account issue taken care of. And this is okay, kind of, in a single country, in a single jurisdiction. And being from a country like the United States and people here from Japan, and I live in China for 15 years, and so a lot of these countries that are more established and well-developed, they have these legal systems and these finance systems in place that allow us to do business, I wouldn't say efficiently, but it's kind of acceptable. But in a global environment, the friction and the complexity, it becomes apparent very quickly. And you can certainly feel that in a country like China, where I live, which I love, but it operates, kind of on its own. And it's not so easy to get money in and out. It's not so easy to run a business internationally. And it's not just China, it's the whole world. Anytime you want to cross borders and you want to do business and you want to have relationships with other companies and other people, it just gets very complicated very quickly. And especially when things don't go well and you need to engage the law, well, which jurisdiction are we working on? Is the court system actually going to listen to what we have to say? How much money is it going to take to enforce these contracts, right? So with NYNJA, these tools for global communications and commerce are unified. And we believe that the blockchain technology, this distributed ledger technology with its combination of the ability to have a cryptocurrency in terms of the payment mechanisms, as well as the smart contracts with the law, it's almost kind of like open source legal. And when you put these together, the communication piece, the commerce, and the consensus all together, you wind up with something that's quite powerful. And I think we need to take a step back and say, wow, if we could re-envision the world today, but with a platform where you can program money and you can program contracts, and the jurisdiction is irrelevant, and you're operating globally by nature, well, what does that mean? What does that mean for our lives? Where does that mean for where we can live, where we can operate, who we can do business with? And also about trust, because in the current world, you need to develop a certain level of trust with people, which is great. I love meeting people and developing relationships and getting to the point where we trust each other. But, what about when you want to work with people that you just met? So if you want to live in a world where you can operate globally, and you want to be able to transact internationally, and in a way that trust is built into the system, where you don't need separate lawyers and contracts and whatever, blockchain offers that potential. So why are we building a messenger as a starting point? I think it's important that when we look at the ecosystem of how people communicate, if you can't communicate, you can't collaborate. And right now, the world is kind of in a flux. We've had the internet boom a while ago, and that really completely revolutionized the communication piece. And what it did is it allowed individuals to, without permission, communicate, in the sense that before you would need a newspaper, you'd have to get some sort of media. I grew up in a country where we had channel 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, that's it. And not everyone can have their voice heard. But as soon as the internet was out, all of a sudden you don't need permission to communicate anymore. So what blockchain does now is it's adding in the same permissionless nature, but to the finance system and to the legal system. So you no longer need permission to transmit. I don't need to open a bank. We don't need lawyers. We don't need banks. We need more programmers. Okay? So NYNJA has built a unified platform and ecosystem where security, efficiency, privacy, productivity, these are not trade-offs like in the current system. They're part of the fundamental structure of the system. And because of that, we're leveraging the power of the blockchain, and we can actually unlock human potential globally in a way that was not possible before this distributed ledger technology. So I'd like to take a minute and talk about what we call the future of work. Work is probably one of the most important things that human beings do. I know we always talk about work-life balance and do we work to live or do we live to work? But I think anybody in this room will agree that once you've found something that really gets you going and really interests you, work is not only fun, it becomes a burning desire. So I think that as we make it easier for people to work, people will want to work more. And the more people work, the more productivity there is in the world as well. So we're in an interesting situation. In the world, we have about 2 billion people online. but there's 7 billion people in the world. And it was kind of the low-hanging fruit to get the first billion or so online, because these are the people who already lived in the developed countries. They already had the computers at home and what have you. But then what started to happen was in the developing world, such as in China, where I live, and in Africa and other places, people actually just didn't even buy computers. They just leapfrogged right to mobile. And that's very powerful, because what's showing is that, in fact, it's not always the developed countries anymore that are leading the way. In fact, it's the people who don't have access to the services that the developed countries have that are even more interested in the technologies that are coming out around mobile, communications, finance, and governance, and these are the people who cannot form corporations and bank accounts and transact internationally like we have the luxury of doing, coming from countries like the United States and Japan and Canada and other countries. So what we have is a very interesting situation where we have another 3 billion people coming online in the next 10, 15 years by 2025. So actually, whoa, it's not even that long. It's quite only 7 or 8 years away. And so imagine that the online population is going to double and triple globally. But the people who are not online yet, that are coming online, they're not people that grew up with university educations and parents and counselors who showed them how to go get a job, and they don't have CVs and work histories and or any of that really. But thank God for things like the MIT open courseware and all the different free services available online. Actually, almost anyone can get educated today by themselves, even with very little resources. So we have this freelance economy that even today is already over $1.7 trillion, and it's growing rapidly, but that is going to hit like a hockey stick, and the size of the gig economy and the freelance network is just going to go parabolic. So what we do is we connect on-demand professionals. We connect the people who are looking to get work done with the people who want to do work. And in the same way that Uber, for example, connects people who need a ride with drivers who want to drive for money in an automated way, NYNJA is providing the same services, the auto-assign engines, in order to connect people in real time who need to do work through our platform. So this is what our platform looks like here. On the left, you see the communication piece, and we've come up with this concentric wheel system, which allows you to run the entire application with one hand, and it's very convenient to go in and out. And it's a best-in-class messenger. So if you're familiar with WeChat or Line or any of the more advanced messaging apps, you'll find that we have a lot of features that people need, and just little things like the ability to schedule a message in advance, the ability to have multiple accounts, business, personal, the ability to spin up an account as you need, the ability to assign someone to have write permissions to be able to manage a group on your behalf. There's all these different things. So we have about 70 or 80 innovations that are going to allow us to be a world-class messaging app. And within it, on the right side, you're looking at our freelance network. So you can hold down a bubble, whether it's a voice message, a file, or a message itself, and you can say, okay, I need to get work done. And it will take you to a screen where you can say, okay, I need something translated, I need something written or designed, or I need a personal assistant, whatever you need. And our auto-assign engine, using the blockchain technology, keeping track of reputation and machine learning to get more and more accurate over time, will ensure that the best people get assigned to the best jobs in real time without regard to their previous history. But we're not just building an app. Actually, we think of ourselves kind of as like AWS for blockchain. And in the same way that Amazon.com is built on top of AWS, we are building NYNJA on top of the NYNJA platform. But that platform is actually an open platform, and we have SDKs and APIs so that other companies can build on top of our platform completely independent from NYNJA. And because of blockchain technology, we're doing it in a way that even if NYNJA ceased to exist one day, that these businesses could live on, which is different from other lock-in platforms that keep you dependent on them, which is not what we want to do. So our timeline is very aggressive. We've been in development for over a year. We raised about $4 million even before we got started so that we could be in development for over a year. We are in closed beta by August, and we will be live in 2018 in Q4. So I would invite anyone to come after, and you can have a look at the alpha version, which is on our phones and at our booth outside. I'm running out of time, so I'll just give 1 second to introduce our team. We have an exceptional team of about 40 programmers and other management. And our CTO is ex-Cisco. We have about 50 years combined experience in telecom and communication space. And we're truly global with more than 20 different languages spoken among our team and operating in 8 different countries already. So I hope that if you're interested in NYNJA, you'll stop by our booth and have a look at the demo on our phone. And you can scan our QR code to join the Line group. We also have a Telegram group. We're on all the social media. And I just invite you to join us and learn more about NYNJA. And when it comes out, please download it, give it a try, and I hope you like it. And thank you for letting us speak today. Have a great day.